Welcome to my channel. My name is Alex, and today I want to talk about why I decided to live a plant-based lifestyle, to go vegan. And that was around 3.5 years ago, at the beginning of 2018. And I simply made this video to elaborate my perspective, my point of view, my impressions that eventually led me to this decision to go vegan. And this topic is a little bit off topic for my channel because I mostly talk about meditation, mindfulness, consciousness, Zen Buddhism, and in generally living consciously. But living consciously for me is also very important when it comes to our diet. And for me, having a good diet, whatever that might be, is also very important. And for me, it is eating in a way that's not causing suffering to other beings, and also not eating in a way that it's destroying our planet. So back to the end of 2017. It was at that time when I discovered the documentary What the Health. And I don't know why I even watched it. I think it was on Netflix and it seemed interesting. And I always was like a little bit knowledgeable about eating and diets because I've been working out or going to the gym for quite a long time before that. And I was interested in how I could improve my eating habits, how I could live in a healthier way. And then when I watched this documentary, which is all about, I think in particular, the healthcare system or the whole food system in the USA, and it really dives into how certain health associations are basically in bed with big companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, I think also KFC, like a lot of the big fast food and junk food companies. And they also talk about how there's this huge lobby and this huge agenda against living healthy and finding healthy solutions for your body or natural solutions for your health. And then there's also the pharma industry, which wants to give you like unbelievable amount of prescription drugs just so that you are healthy. And of course, it's also not in their interest that you find something for which you don't have to pay huge amounts of money. And then in this documentary, what was really interesting to me was that they filmed a few people who were really sick, and some of them had to take up to 20 different prescription drugs. I mean, it was like they had to take 10 drugs for the health, and then they had to take like another 10 drugs to minimize the side effects of the other drugs. And they followed them along in their lives. And all of these people, they made a transition to a plant-based diet with the hope of giving them some relief, some more health, some more energy. And all of these people who were really sick before, but then transitioned to a diet, some of them just after 4 weeks, they didn't have to take any of their drugs anymore. They lost weight. They were to walk again, to breathe again without feeling that they're almost dying. And they had like huge benefits of this dietary change. And I was like, wow, okay. Like, nobody wants you to know this, kind of, at least not big companies. And there's a lot of interest against these vegan diets or diets that are healthy. And it really made me like even more curious about veganism, because before I watched a documentary, I kind of understood that there are these vegan people, these vegetarian people, and I always thought, yeah, they have their reasons. It's probably not good what we're doing with animals. It's probably even really bad. So I never had like a problem with vegans or vegetarians, but I also never really dived into what it really meant or why they are really doing what they're doing, these vegans and these vegetarians. And then after I watched What the Health, I started to do some more research to see what's going on. And then I started to watch videos of factory farming, of the slaughter, of the violence, of the murder animals are prone to in our system. And yeah, when I saw like all of this footage, when I really looked into it and I saw all this violence, all this fear in the animals, all this extremely evil way of handling them, like, then it was really hard to me like to still eat meat. And that was really when I said, okay, like I can support this. Like, I can't know how they are treated and still say I want this for me or for anyone. And then I also become aware of all this fake advertising in the meat industry, or generally in the food industry, where there's a lot of talk about inhumane ways of killing animals and treating animals in a good way, and they have a happy life, and then we kill them. But I saw that all of these things are just smoke screens of things that are there to kind of distract ourselves or to influence ourselves so that we can feel better about ourselves and our decisions to eat meat, when in actuality it just means that some of the animals have like 2 square meters of space, and the other animals have like 2.1 square meters of space. Like, it's actually that stupid, or it's actually that fake that they advertise this as better care for animals. And of course, if you're happy, you still don't want to die or get slaughtered. And then I really became aware of this animal suffering. And yeah, then at that point for me, like, I just researched and researched, and then I think I researched like for a few weeks or just for a few days even. And then I said, okay, like, I never want to touch this again. And then I kind of went cold turkey into veganism. And yeah, that was kind of difficult because I didn't really know how to cook. And I was also buying a lot of food when I was in the city or somewhere else, and it's mostly with meat and junk food and burgers and pizzas with cheese and so on, so on. But yeah, and something I also want to talk about is that I looked into what do different people throughout history have to say about veganism. Or I discovered that a lot of famous people, a lot of people we kind of look up to and admire throughout our history have been vegetarians or even vegans. And that's why I want to read some quotes from some people like Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Buddha, just to name a few. And I don't want to read like too many quotes, but I'm just going to read some of them, and I think they are very powerful, and they also made it a lot easier for me to go vegan, or they really inspired me to go vegan. So this is a quote from Albert Einstein, and if you ask anyone, basically they will say, wow, he's such a genius and such a bright mind, like one of the biggest geniuses ever. And whether that's true or not, this quote is very interesting. Nothing will benefit human health and increase the chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. And this comes from this huge physicist. And when I read that, I was like, wait a minute. If he says that, maybe there's some truth to it. Then a quote from Gautama Buddha, which I also really like because, yeah, I'm into meditation and Buddhism and all the stuff. And Buddhism preaches also a lot of non-violence and really emphasizes not killing other beings. And I think this quote is kind of funny. It's more important to prevent animal suffering rather than sit to contemplate the evils of the universe praying in the company of priests. And yeah, it's just so true. And I discovered this again and again. I can sit down and meditate, but if I'm not changing the way I live, if I still cause suffering, then yeah, I can meditate forever, but I also really need to change my behaviors. And meditation helps you to see how you feel and how you make others feel. But then you still need to act on that. And that's why it was so important for me to go vegan, because I couldn't live with this thinking or just pray to God or meditate that everything will be good in the end. But yeah, I had to play my part and take responsibility. And something from Nietzsche, the famous philosopher, which he said, like, I'm not quite sure the words that he used, but he basically said all of those philosophers who became vegetarian have done more for the world than all of the other philosophers combined. And I think that's also very, very telling, this statement. Then, a quote from Leonardo da Vinci, who's also considered for most people like to be like universal genius and is praised a lot. He said, I have from an early age abjured the use of meat, and the time will come when men, such as I, will look upon the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. And he said this 500 years ago, and maybe this time is right now where a lot of people wake up to the suffering we cause to animals, and a lot of people nowadays start to look upon the murder of animals as really severe and no longer neglected. At last, I want to read a quote from Nikola Tesla, who we can thank for basically all of our technology, or a lot of our technology, because he was like one of the greatest inventors in human history. And he said that we can subsist on plant food and perform our work even to advantage is not a theory, but a well demonstrated fact. Many races living almost exclusively on vegetables are of superior physique and strength. Every effort should be made to stop the wanton, cruel slaughter of animals, which must be destructive to our morals. And these are just a few people. There are so many more people that basically everyone knows that were also vegetarian or vegan, or in generally just against causing suffering, whether it be to humans or animals. And yeah, so when I really dove into it, all of these things combined really made it easy for me to make this decision to stop eating meat and to stop eat animal products. Yeah. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the vegan diet, about difficulties when you make this transition to a vegan diet, if you have any concerns about malnutrition or anything which are out there but basically not true, but yeah, if you have anything you want to talk about, you can just leave me a comment down below under this video. And without further ado, have a good weekend, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good morning, whatever, whichever time you're watching this right now. And thank you for watching, and see you soon.